Blenheim Palace is one of Britain's grandest and most famous stately homes, but it's not just a tourist attraction. It's home to the Duke of Marlborough and his family. Our cameras have been given exclusive access behind the scenes with the Marlboroughs and with the team who run their estate. On our first visit, the palace dusts itself off, ready for a big occasion.
Isn't that beautiful?
And the Duchess has plans for a spot of redecorating in the private wing. Blenheim Palace was built nearly 300 years ago for a national war hero, the first Duke of Marlborough. The present Duke moved into the palace 25 years ago with his new Duchess, the year his father died. The Marlboroughs spend much of the year actually living in the palace. The Duke works from his study in the private wing every day. But Blenheim is far more than the palace alone. The estate covers 11,500 acres, 160 cottages across 6 villages. Some of the land is let out to tenant farmers, but more than 6,000 acres at Park Farm are managed for the Duke by Rod Craig.
And the ones from Spruce up there, you're going to put them in one...
The Duke takes a keen interest in farming. He ran his own farm for 20 years after leaving the army, until he inherited the dukedom.
You've got twins.
Yeah.
Twins there.
Little Suffolk ones.
Any over here?
As we did last year, sort of as small.
No, they're doing all right outside. We'll go and have a look at some of them later on. But the ones I saw 48 hours ago, they're doing well.
Yes.
Well, this is great weather for us.
It's better
dry,
now,
cold,
yes.
it's perfect. Didn't want that snow. That was no good.
No, it's got quite a bit milder now, isn't it?
Yeah.
That cold wind has dropped.
Had 48 sets of triplets.
48 sets.
Yeah. So.
Oh, we've had some quads too.
In the private apartments, the Duchess is planning a bit of redecorating. She's enlisted the help of her stepdaughter, Lady Henrietta Spencer Churchill.
Henrietta, I need your help on this. You remember Bachelor 4 as the leftover Bachelor Room? It's always been a very strange room and rather wacky. So I'm going to take it all the way and make something really wacky out of it. And these are my ideas. Here.
What's the idea? You're going to make this and Bachelor 3 as one together, so like a suite.
I thought as a unit, and we could either have 2 singles staying here, or it would be a very comfortable double bedroom, opening up that door and the bath in the cupboard. If this is going to work, I don't know, but we have a problem connecting the pipes. We have to look into that. But what I thought of doing here was to lower the ceiling to where the window comes, where this nice dado line is.
Right.
And opening the cupboard with a bath in it with with 4 halogen down spots. You know, those low voltage ones. The low voltage ones. And what do you think about lowering the ceiling?
I think we've got to do that because this is such a tunnel at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing is, I rather like getting some of the natural daylight from that window. So, alternatively, you could have it low on the 2 sides and then take it up in the middle, so you still get the natural daylight coming through.
Yeah, exactly.
What about fabrics? Have you thought about anything to use in here?
Well, do you remember the curtains that were downstairs in the smoking room, ante-room? Those beautiful yellow velvet
right,
curtains.
yes, where we replaced them with the Colfax chins.
With the chins.
Yeah.
Yes, you
Yeah.
did those for me. wonderful Woodstock
Quite
design. What would I do without
No,
you?
it's quite a long time ago.
No, but I thought they would be lovely here. But here we might have a problem, and that is what we find behind the wallpaper.
Let's have. I haven't actually ever looked at them.
Well,
Oh my
we're
goodness.
going to find a terrible shock, probably.
Oh my goodness! Do you know they haven't even plastered the walls behind here? That's incredible.
None of the walls were plastered in any of the bedrooms.
I mean, so this hasn't been touched for I don't know how many
I
years.
don't think this has ever been touched.
Downstairs, Paul Duffy, the palace administrator, is checking last-minute preparations for one of the biggest social events of the year.
Is Graham on there with him? Yeah. Did you go and get the red chair? Have you got the red chairs yet? Oh, yeah. No, I don't mean that. I don't mean those red chairs. I mean the red soft chairs. All right. And then when you come down, finish the numbering on the back. You get the name cards for those rows from me later too. Put them out. Okay.
With a military background in the Scots Guards, he's a perfectionist and wants no mistakes in front of tonight's important guests. The pressure's on for Paul's team. Tonight's huge event comes just 48 hours before the palace is reopened to the public after the closed winter season.
Now these are the ones which went out first.
These are the ones.
These are
exactly.
the oldest.
Yeah, yeah.
And I should think.
That must be one of the few singles we've got. That one in front there, because look how big it is.
Yeah.
It's the one with the mother.
That's right. So I should think we've nearly got enough out here. Looking at it, we'd want about 120 out here, and I shouldn't think we're far off that. So those we started going in here yesterday morning.
Right.
And I've put another 27 out here today, and I fenced it around because the palace opens on Monday, so they don't run to the road.
I think we ought to put up a notice on the top of that road by the
Oh yeah.
cattle grid about land, cause so we don't want them driving too fast.
No. No.
Would you arrange that?
Yeah, I'll see to that later on this afternoon.
The colour scheme could be rather wonderful with the yellow velvet curtains, and it's a lovely yellow velvet.
I love
And
this
one
idea.
would have the sand, and I could paint some China,
What, so
type
you're
of
going to do
China.
that?
Well, I drew it up on the plane
I
the
think
other
that's great.
day.
But you should do it in panels so that at least, you know, they can be movable. They don't have to be there permanently.
Well, I think it would be
like
rather
a
interesting.
picture rather than actually having a mural on the wall.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do about heating for this room? Obviously, there's night storage has got to go because they're so unattractive. You can get so much nicer ones today, much narrower.
We could get a narrow night storage, and what we've used in most of the bedrooms are these gas fires.
Yeah, I mean, they are practical. But once you've got those heavy curtains, it will help both with draft and noise.
We may actually have to put them on chains, like we did with the ones in the dining room. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Because they didn't come down all the way to the floor.
Have you measured them?
I haven't yet, but
Shall
I
we
always
we ought
think.
to go and find them and see what
Let's
they're...
find them.
Shall we go and see?
Do you want to take a whole curtain out? They're
Well,
in the
why not?
dungeon
Yeah.
at the moment.
Okay, that'd be great.
Tonight's concert is being held in the palace's Long Library. It's an annual charity event in memory of Britain's wartime leader, Sir Winston Churchill, the most famous son of the Duke of Marlborough's family.
Be loud enough this evening, I hope. It's very fine, actually. Yes.
Music from the Long Library's 100-year-old organ is the highlight of tonight's concert. £50,000 is being spent to restore it to its former splendour. Tonight's organist Martin Suter has just made a recording on it of favourite pieces, much to the Duke's delight.
It's been exciting making the recording here. It's an exciting instrument to play.
Well, it's something which we're very proud of here.
Oh yes, it should be. It's marvellous.
And it's,
really
we spent a lot of money on the restoration, but he's done a very good job.
Yes, it works so well. It's just a fabulous instrument.
Great.
Yeah, it's been great fun.
I think Sir Edward Heath will probably suggest that one day he comes along and plays it.
Yes,
he loves playing the organ.
Yes, that's right. Yes, he was an organ scholar in Oxford.
I asked him whether he wanted to play the organ as well. He said, no, I think making the tribute will be enough for one evening.
Fair enough.
Good. Thank you very much.
Okay, great pleasure.
It's just that little tiny bit there. That is a car track, isn't it? That isn't. Well, that is, of course it is. Look, two-wheel vehicle. Stopped halfway. No, you come here. No, he's reversed out. Look, honestly. Seriously, see, double wheel. You're talking right here? Yeah, keep going. That's it, spot on.
All right.
Good. Good. What have you got on the back then? What have we got? Which way round are you?
Plants first.
Plants first. On the stage, all right? And you're going to do the silver bowl. Lovely.
In the boxes.
Oh, lovely. Okay. Okay, that's terrific. I'll leave you to it then. See you later. We've got the 4 red chairs. There'll be His Grace in his usual place, then Sir Edward Heath, then Her Grace, and then Lady Soames on that side, okay?
Right.
And on the other side, because it doesn't quite balance out, Mr. and Mrs. Heseltine, Mr. and Mrs. Nicholas Soames, and we'll leave a space for Dr. Michael Burden, that's the director of the New College Opera.
That's a wonderful colour, these, aren't they?
Oh, they've got that wonderful lustre, don't they?
Now, let's have a look.
You see,
God, I can't really remember these, but they are fabulous.
You don't remember them?
Well, I can't.
I hardly
It was a long time
remember
ago
these
when
things.
these were up. That is just fabulous.
Isn't that beautiful? And
I
you see,
want to
this
really pull them out.
I think we just need to measure the length of these.
Well, these slightly worry me, these palmets, because they're not that deep, so we've got to come up with some ingenious way of actually... Because you see, the ones that are up there already are quite a lot deeper than these. And to
Well, I tell you what we could do. I want to use some of this material from Font 1. Do you remember before you redid that room?
The chintz.
It's a lovely green chintz. And I think it could marry very, very nicely. We might actually use those, perhaps, as pelmets over these
something rather
curtains.
like you did in your bedroom, where you introduced that chintz rouged border to get that extra length.
Well, I'm always
that worked
mixing and
really
matching.
well.
Will you be able to share your PowerPoint with them or not? Do you not think the front row's a bit near the stage? Seriously?
Well, we can't...
Well, I've just... Excuse me, I think we need to come back a tiny bit, because otherwise somebody's going to get, not athletes, but green for it. I think, in fact, you'll find this road that we come back to about there. We are a bit near, are we not? But you would agree, I mean, I wouldn't really want to sit and watch this, actually, because I think we need to go back. What a mess you made.
We have all these wonderful things to play around with, and I have endless trimmings in drawers from
these
old
are fine.
curtains.
They don't need anything doing to them, are they?
No, but aren't they beautiful?
Fabulous. Amazingly well preserved.
I get very excited about all these wonderful old things that one's found here. Don't you?
Well, Daddy will be pleased. Very economical.
I think you're right, yes.
I think we might have to just...
Thrifty.
Yes.
Thrifty.
Replace the carpet, though. I'm slightly concerned about this.
So, do you think you can come back? We are.
Well, we can't come back...
yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. Come on, this is my 27th concert or something like that. I don't know, but I'm being serious. No, you can come back to there, and we must do it. And you have to, and just close them up a bit, because otherwise it's... It's just, I think that the front row of that should be in line with the end of the bookcase, and that's where it must be, okay? And work from there. Sorry to be an absolute pain, but it's best to get it right now. I'll do it like that, and then you can order the rows. How's that? It's going to kill me. That's right. Yeah, no, I fully appreciate that. Oh, God, what's that?
That's a hotel.
In the Great Hall, the charity committee are sorting through the designer raffle prizes.
Oh my goodness. What are we going to do about this? He'll come down eventually, I expect. Now, what we'd like to do is to discuss the format.
Yes, but we've done in the past. We've usually had to draw first, haven't we?
I think it's easier for it to be done after I have done my formalities,
Yes.
to go on and do the draw, get it
Draw
all
up
out of the
ready, they're
way,
standing then,
and then we'll have Sir Edward Heath
Yes.
after that.
Yes.
And
I think
after
that's
he's
easier, isn't
finished, then we get on with the
Get on
second
with
half
music.
of the concert.
Yes.
Outside, there are bigger problems for the Duke. There are just 48 hours before the first of the year's tourists arrive, and at a time of year when most gardens aren't at their best, the team of 12 gardeners must make the palace's ornate surroundings look presentable for the paying public.
Let's try that.
This year, head gardener Trevor Wood has hit an unexpected snag. Over the winter, the palace and grounds have been used as a backdrop by film director Kenneth Branagh for his remake of Hamlet. The artificial snow, which was laid in huge quantities for the shoot, is being blamed for playing havoc with the gardens and parkland.
We had the drought last year, and it's killed the grass off, and it hasn't come back at all.
Yeah, it's got those marks on it.
There's some marks on, so I think while we're turfing this area down here, I think it's a good opportunity to turf the top terrace here.
And all this down below is what has been got rather rough looking from having that snow put on it from when they were doing Hamlet.
That's right, Your Grace. Unfortunately, we've got the turf a whole lot on the bottom water terraces.
And then all the ponds have got to be cleaned out.
That's right. The rose garden ponds and the top water terraces as well.
When do you think you'll get this finished by?
I should think middle of next week.
Well, we've got the dry weather for it. That's a great thing.
It's ideal. That's ideal.
Perfect. Well done.
Right.
Very good.
Just a couple of hours before tonight's 400 guests arrive, and the Great Hall is still being spruced up. Tonight's concert is to honour Blenheim's most famous son, Sir Winston Churchill, the son of the 8th Duke's brother.
We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and oceans.
Churchill was born in one of the most humble rooms in the palace, once the Duke's chaplain's bedroom. Now the room is part of the Churchill exhibition, where photos, manuscripts and mementos of Churchill's life are on display. His birth here was accidental. His mother, Lady Randolph Churchill, was staying at the palace for a few days and fell during a shooting party. Churchill was actually heir to the dukedom briefly until the then Duke had a son. Churchill's life was constantly linked with Blenheim. In the Temple of Diana in the palace gardens, he proposed to Clementine Hosier. The couple spent the first days of their honeymoon at the palace and often spent Christmas at Blenheim. The temple was restored 20 years ago by the present Duke. And from the windows on the south front of the palace can be seen Blaydon Church, where Churchill chose to be buried beside his parents when he died in 1965. While Sir Edward Heath, Michael Heseltine, Churchill's daughter Lady Soames and grandson Nicholas Soames are being entertained in the Duke's private apartments, the concert audience arrive across the Great Court.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 30th Annual Churchill Memorial Concert, and a special warm welcome to our guest and chief speaker, Sir Edward Heath. He's had a very distinguished career, and the services that he's rendered to his country are amazing. We are very fortunate in having you here with us this evening, Sir Edward, and we look forward in keen anticipation to what you will have to say. Thank you very much.
I'm greatly honored and deeply moved at being invited on this, the 30th occasion of such gatherings, to pay tribute to Sir Winston Churchill. I've always been glad that he did, in this long life, which he fulfilled so many ambitions, find himself elected as Prime Minister, and then able to carry through so much of what he wanted. I remember that the Chief Whip was rather agonized because he went to see the Prime Minister, who said, having won the October election, "Now, will you arrange for the House of Commons to meet in February?" February, said the Chief Whip. Yes, 1906, we always met in February. It's time we got back to that sort of situation. He was finally persuaded we would have to meet in the next fortnight. And he said, "I want the whips to wear silk stockings and breeches." And that's the proper dress for a whip. So we asked who was going to pay for it, and that was the end of the question. A very, very great man. And I hope therefore today I've been able to pay a tribute which is worthy of that great man himself.
We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and oceans. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender.
Next week at Blenheim Palace, the Duchess unveils her plans for the bachelor bedroom. And the South Lawn is invaded by stars of sport and screen.